So this session we are going to see how we are going to apply the patch in the EXACS environment, grid patch. So in the last session we discussed about the prereq activities before we apply the patch. So in fact, when you apply the patch, it is going to do exactly same thing again. So in case if you have not gone through the last session, I request you to go through the last session, then you come here, because I'm not going to cover all those things whatever we discussed in the last session, right? Almost I would say 70% of the things we already discussed in the first session. So let us not waste the timing by discussing all those things one more time. Okay, so here let us get into the subject directly. So I'm going to use the tool dbar CLI as usual because it is a EXACS environment. I'm going to apply the patch on grid. What is the target version? Continue with the dB downtime. Already I discussed about this parameter in the last session. So in the last session we have included one more thing like execute prereq something, right? Execute prereq. So this we are not going to include it here because this is going to be the actual downtime. Okay. So start off job initialization, it is finding out the nodes, it is going to apply the patch and validating your target version, whether you have applied the proper version. Backup locations, right? It is going to validate the backup location U02 exapatch backup, and it is going to verify what are all the databases currently running on this environment, and it is validating the disk space, umask, and downloading the patch. It is downloading the patch using from the object storage. It is downloading all the required patches, OPatch and the corresponding bundle patch. All those things it is downloading from the object storage, from hashband region, everything step by step we discussed in the last session. So let us not waste our time here. Download completed. So as you can see here, it is downloading the patch as a zip file. So it is unzipping those files, unpackaging the patches. So it is unzipping those files. Okay, it is unzipping those files. See, unzip -q, one by one it is unzipping. Then it is removing. Once the unzip completed, yes, all my patches are available in U02 exapatch patches in my local backup. So it is removing the zip files. Beautiful, beautiful automation, right? Then it is replacing the OPatch. Again, last time we discussed about this. Checking the conflict, right? We went through the OPatch logs last time, acquiring the log, and it is creating the backup, right? Yes, now it has to take the backup. This is something new. It has to take the backup. So start off create global backup. So app_ACFS is the global mount point which can be accessible from all your XR nodes, right? So it is just verifying that. Okay. Then it is checking is there any old backup exist or not. Okay. If it is there, it is removing it. Now grid dot, it is making it as old. Start off backup image. It is creating the backup. These are all the things new in the execution. So it is taking the backup tar, which location it is storing in the ACFS mount point it is storing, and when it is taking the backup it is excluding several configurations files. Okay, and after that start of job rotate config backup. Yes, it is moving that backup from the ACFS mount point to the local location. Sorry, that step is coming here. This is startup. Okay, so it has taken the grid binary backup, then it is taking some configuration backup. Okay, so before taking the configuration backup, it is moving those old configuration backup if it exists. Then it is taking the configuration backup. You see, it is config_xr node 1. Some important configuration files, especially SQL.ora, listener.ora, all those things it will take. Yes, you see. So it took image backup, the complete Oracle home, complete grid home by excluding certain files. Then it is taking config files alone. Okay. Then it has already taken the image backup and it has already taken the configuration backup. Both this backup, it is moving to local storage. Yes, now the actual downtime is starting, right? So we are in the downtime window, but as I told you, it is not going to bring down the database. Your grid patch by default, it is rolling compatible. That means if your application is rolling compatible, it is not mandatory to get the downtime from the customer. Okay, because your grid patch is going to bring down the instance one by one. So at any point of time, at least one of your instance should be up and running so that your application will not be disturbed. Okay. So it is your responsibility to configure application accordingly. Okay. Okay. So now it is bringing down the instance. Bringing down the instance. Okay. Now pre-patch. See how we used to apply the patches in the grid home in the legacy environment. We will run pre-patch. Then we will run, we'll apply the patch using O-patch and we will run post-patch. Okay, so what exactly the pre-patch will do? Because why you should know all these things, if you get into some issues in between, it is easy for you to troubleshoot. If you directly start from cloud, I would say you are unlucky because if something goes wrong, you don't know, you really don't know what is happening. So if you have good experience in the legacy environment, it is a bit simple. Right? Because what all the things you used to do manually, tool is doing it for you. In case if something goes wrong, it is very simple for you to troubleshoot. Easy for you to troubleshoot. Okay. So pre-patch what it will do? It will unlock your grid home. Basically, it will change the permissions from root to grid. Okay. So pre-patch it is running. Okay. It is bringing down the TFA. Then yeah, so this is something new in execution. So what they are trying to do before they are applying, they have some set of patches. If those patches are available in your grid home, it is trying to roll back. Otherwise, the conflict will happen, right? So some set of patches, it is in their list. So one by one, the tool is verifying whether those patches are available in your grid home or not. If not, no problem. It is telling not present. It is continuing, otherwise it will roll back those patches. Okay, then yes, now the actual apply is happening, right? So O-patch auto apply binary. They are using the binary. Binary, if you are, as I told, if you work in legacy environment, binary means your instance should be, no services should be up and running. So already the tool brought down the instance. So no problem, it is going to apply using binary. One by one it is applying. Then you will find the O-patch log in the CFG tools log location as usual. If something goes wrong, you can check here. Okay. Then after that, it is verifying. I don't know for what reason. Is there any defunct process or something like that? It is still running process. It is killing that. Okay. Then after that, after applying the bundle patch, they are applying some one-off patch. Still, I have not checked what is the what is this one-off patch, but your tool included as part of this tool included. It is again it is applying using binary option. So everything done. Root add, normally we used to do it when we are doing the relinking. So it is executing that. Then post patch what it will do, it will unlock, then change the permissions, bringing up the instance, changing some ownership, disabled some diagnosis. This will come in the diagnostic monitor. It is disabling it, starting of the TFA. Okay, removing all the backups, whatever it had taken. Perfectly done. First node it completed. So first node, what exactly it did? It applied the patch. It brought down the instance, ran, executed pre-patch, applied the patch, applied one-off patch, it executed post-patch. Exactly what you used to do manually, the tool has done for you. Now, this is where the difference they have introduced. So, in this, okay, in this second node, now second node it has to do, okay, as I told you in the first session, in the new concept they introduced the tool called piloting tool. So, you don't find the piloting tool will control everything from the node 1. So, you will not find any pilot log in the second node. You will find the pilot log only in the first node. So, what are the things I am showing you? I got it from the first node log file. Okay. Now, what it is doing in the startup job backup config on XR node 2. So, XR node 2, it is taking the config backup. It is taking the config backup, moving the backup, config backup to the local node, bringing down the node 2, instance in node 2, running pre-patch. So far, so good. What all the things we explained in the first node, it happened. Now, it is removing the home. See, this is not the case in the first node. In the second node, it is removing your grid home. Completely, it is removing the home. Okay, so removal completed. Now, the already patched home from the first node, that already patched home, it is copying to the second node. This is the major difference. This is advantage. If you have 4-node rack, if you have 6-node rack, believe me, it is going to apply the patch only on the first node. Second node, third node, all the remaining nodes, it is going to copy the image from the first node to the remaining nodes. So what is the advantage? The advantage is you can save a lot of time, right? And it's error free. Mostly image method is error free rather than applying OPatch auto. So it just build the home, configure the home, then it is removing the home, and it is copying that home from the first node to the second node. Okay. Then here we had taken the config backup in the XR node 2, right? SQLnet.ora, listener.ora, those things, it is, it is bringing it back, overwriting, because since I copying the home from the first node, maybe I have first node entries. That was the reason it took the copy of the configuration files before it removed, then it is overwriting. Done, running the post patch. So this will complete pretty fast. Bringing up the instance, same thing. Whatever we discussed in the first node, everything will happen here. So it's all done. Okay. So why, see, your pilot log file is 25,000 plus lines it has. So, but I picked up some important things. So, in case if you are getting into the issue, for example, I got into the issue, at least I can see whether, the control came to second node or not. Okay, it failed here in this post patch, but that means I know removal happened, copied happened. So, why let me execute all these things parallel, manually, post patch let me run, removing these jars and bring up that CRS, right? So it will help you, it helped me in the production issues, okay? So it is very important to know in exactly at what stage. It is not like, just execute the tool and simply forget about that. In case if it fails, you should know from where to start, how to fix it, okay? Hope it will help you in your production executions. So whenever you get into this issue, just see at what stage you got into this failure, and based on that you can act on that. Thank you.